Sitting at the Loves truck stop in Carlisle, PA. Welcome back, everybody. David Shepard here on the Humble Hotshot channel. Got a little bit of a guest sitting behind us, some of you guys might recognize. So we're going to chat with him. We're going to show you the rigs over here and just do a little discussion today. So a little bit different video, and we're going to get right into all that right after a quick word of scripture. So today I've got Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 29. Great verse, encouraging verse, which says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." So, praise God. Just remember that you could always seek Him, give your cares and worries and struggles to Him in prayer, and you will find rest for your soul. So, I want to encourage that. I want to encourage you guys with that today, and now let me introduce or reintroduce my guest here. CP Steve, how you doing today?
Good.
I happen to be in the central Pennsylvania area. Actually dropped off in Ohio, so I am empty again now, and I'm actually just headed over to New Jersey to see family. But good opportunity to stop and meet up with Steve. He's got his wicked off-road rig here today. So
Tried to get him to buy it.
yeah, he did try to get me to buy it. I think. What do you think, guys? Could be a cool little overlanding project out in Colorado. But we'll give you guys a look at that and kind of maybe do a little catch up what's going on in your life lately. And
Yeah.
I know we've got
breaking parts, getting crashed into, you know.
hey, you know, story of your life, I guess I'd say. But yeah,
Whoops.
if you guys haven't seen this on his channel, I'll give you a look at the Honda CR-V Overland Edition. Got a lift on there and some pretty cool tires and wheels for sure.
Specifically for sale,
That's right, yeah.
because we do have another truck coming.
Give us your best sales pitch on this thing. What do we got?
It won't break down on you.
Okay.
That's basically all I got for you.
Probably doesn't leak like a 12 valve, I'm guessing. I don't...
No, believe it, no leaks. 5% tint, sound system, very decent deep cycle battery in the engine compartment.
Yeah, that's right. Got the deep cycle, plenty of starting power. Honestly, looks pretty good out here. It's got the tinted windows, roof rack, side awning, fishing pole holder, all that. You know, used vehicle. It's got some little quirks here, but overall pretty clean, rust-free unit. So if you're interested in something like that, want a little project or something you could go thrash around on the trails, hit up Steve. He's looking to get rid of that to fund some more Hotshot truck content. So support the cause if you can. And
Either way, the truck's on its way, but it's like it'd be nice to just put that money in my pocket.
yeah,
So
it's always good to have some extra cash. So
then maybe I'll buy another one.
wait,
Another truck.
oh, another truck. Okay,
Yeah.
not another one of these.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, cool guys, I wanted to take this opportunity, like I said, just meeting up with Steve, a little bit different video today, but many of you know him. If you don't, please go over and follow CP Steve Miller. It's the channel name. Ton of Hotshot content, and you know, we both
Mostly mechanic stuff now because
Yeah.
some of us don't have a truck.
well at the moment, but hopefully that'll change soon. And
Back up to two.
yeah, honestly, if you're into more the mechanical maintenance side of things and kind of the ins and outs, especially of the 12 valve Cummins, definitely go follow him, even look back through some of the old videos. So CP Steve Miller, I know a lot of you guys from this channel are already subscribed there, but if not, go check him out. And
Well,
well,
we'll throw a 12 valve in your truck.
I think the day might come. If this 24 valve ever gives up, I wouldn't mind going fully mechanical for sure. So keep that in mind. Maybe one day in the future we'll be in the shop with Steve swapping old blue steel over here. So
I think we could get it done in 2 days.
dang, really?
I did it before. I think we could do it.
We
And
got
have
that on film now.
Three,
So
three tops. If we want it done right, I feel like 3 days. If we want to rush it, we can do it in 2.
I say we opt for the 3 day. So
I think we can do it in 3 days.
3-day weekend. I buy the beer and pizza. Or you don't drink beer.
No, well, not beer, but you know, bring the
Not terrible
vodka
old bitter
Cokes
beer.
over and
There you go. So hey, might see that in the future, but for right now, I figured, well, we're both just meeting up here, talking trucks, hot-shotting,
not
life.
gonna jinx it.
Yeah. Yeah. Please keep going, 24
I
valve.
got 443 out of mine. I feel like you got some life left.
Yeah,
in yours.
I'm only at 307, and
Oh, you got life. Especially
I-
stock.
yeah,
Yeah.
stock. 250 horsepower version, so I'm hoping that truck goes a long time. I try to keep up on the maintenance, but hey, things happen, that's life. So but yeah, I figured while we're both here we could kind of chat. We've both been running on our own for about a year now, and I know I've learned a lot. I know I still have a lot more to learn, and I love learning from other people, hearing about their experiences. So I'm gonna do a little interview style, super low key, but I appreciate Steve coming out and being able to answer some questions. So we're gonna ask him a couple things about Hotshot stuff, a couple questions that came to mind for me, and kind of share my experience versus his experience. But please, I'm sure this won't be the last time we meet up, so please leave down in the comments, you know, if we have meetups like this with a couple different hotshotters, what do you guys want to hear answered, or do you just want to hear us doing the back and forth banter and stuff, and kind of our normal talks? I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, so put in the comments next time, what do you want to hear answered? And like I said, we might just be 12 valve swapping the 24 valve 03 blue steel here behind me. It's got 307,000 miles now, the original 24 valve common rail. So this is the first year of the CP3 pump. This is early 03. So I like it, as you guys know, no emissions, good fuel mileage, hey, super low overhead. But in that same theory of simplicity, the 12 valve is even better as far as being all mechanical, super simple, and just less computers, which is something I like. So got just over 300,000 now. In the heavy duty application, these are rated for $500,000 before overhaul on the engine. So I'm really hoping with proper maintenance to get that $500,000. We have rebuilt the transmission once right before we started pulling. That's been going great. It is an automatic 48 RFE in this truck, if you're not aware. But Steve's kind of got the other end of that in his 04 similar truck, but it's been swapped to a 12 valve Cummins, and it has the 6-speed manual, the NV5600. So similar, but also much different mechanically, so it's cool to get those different sides of things. So once again, thanks Steve for answering some questions, and just got a couple ones. I'd like to say, just low key first, what do you think is the most interesting oddball thing that's happened over the course of this year of hotshotting out on the road?
I've had a couple. I got hit by my first semi truck.
Oh, that's right.
I've blown my first original transmission at 550,000 miles. And
good run.
I pulled an Airstream that was 10 feet wide.
That was a good one. Go check out, if you haven't seen the overwidth or
go leave me some hate comments on that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Airstream video on his channel, I've got a good Airstream video as well, so check those out. Those are always interesting. Cool, so we asked for the most interesting, and he just rattled off 3 of them.
Basically, I think those were my 3 this year. I don't know.
I'd say that's pretty good.
I think the semi accident was a blessing in disguise. I got my mega cab flares.
Nice.
So, other than that,
that's one thing I love about this guy. He's always keeping a positive attitude. And things happen in life. That's just the nature of it. But how you respond to those things is kind of what reveals your character, I think. So, yeah. Cool. So you've definitely had some interesting things happen this year. Secondly, what's the biggest, and maybe it'll help some of these guys that want to start out or want to get into this, what's the biggest thing you've taken away, or kind of best lesson learned?
Save as much money as possible before you get into this.
Boom. That is good advice.
Yeah, that, if you guys notice how long I've taken off, I didn't get compensated much. I only got compensated like $7 grand for my accident. Yeah. And I took a whole month off and put out like a little over 10 out of my pocket. So it's like there was a lot of lost money, but at the same time, as long as you have a savings at least a little bit, it helps out. The more you have, the better, but also investor money at the same time. So it's like kind of try to keep your savings and your investments, like I'd say like 50-50 if you can.
Balance. Yeah.
Like figure out what works for you, but plan.
That's really good advice. I mean, you know, you might have 10, 15,000 bucks saved up and think you've got a good start on this, but once you get out on the road, the expenses are real, and everything's only getting more and more expensive these days.
Especially if you have your own authority, as you know.
Yes, boy, the paperwork and the costs involved are no joke, even running a humble little non-CDL setup like this. So really good advice there. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway as well, is just having money saved up and just knowing that things are going to happen.
The other thing is I've noticed that guys with trailers get rear-ended a lot. So I haven't had it happen to me yet, but plan a second trailer if you can at some point.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the truck will probably survive a rear end collision if you get hit. The trailer is, if you get rear-ended, more than likely, unless it's a semi-trailer, it's going to be totaled. So
that's a good point. That's something I hadn't thought about.
If you don't have a lot saved up, try to get yourself a second trailer.
Nice.
So,
that's a good tip. Something I wouldn't have thought of, but
I had one, and then somebody couldn't provide me a title, so we just lost it, and it would have been that wedge trailer. But I'll mention that on my video.
Guys, if you don't have a title, you don't have a vehicle for sale. So
Yes.
in case you're confused about that, gotta have a title before you put something up for sale.
Some guys will do it, but it's like, it's just not sketchiness. Like, I'll do some sketchy stuff, but I'm not going to spend money to know that cops could show up at my door and be like, hey, is that yours?
No, that's not something any of us need to get involved in. So cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's definitely one I wouldn't have thought of myself. And then lastly, getting a little personal here, but again, take it easy on Steve in the comments and all that. He's willing to share and open up to you guys.
No, don't take it easy. Leave whatever you want.
All right, you heard it from the man. Just keep it clean. That's all I ask. So keep it clean down there.
That's fine.
But I would ask, what's maybe your biggest mistake or regret, or something you would at least do differently? The number one thing you would change if you were to do it again?
I could get into a bunch of different things there, and this.
I was gonna say, I guess he's done everything perfect, but
yeah, no, you might have to cut some blank spaces out here while I think. But,
yeah, that's all right.
Oh man, things I would have done different. Like preparation-wise, I would have definitely tried to do a little bit of planning a lot better.
Just before jumping into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like, run what you have, but at the same time, like, I ran my mud tires for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, I probably should have changed them out sooner. So you'll run through some suspension components, things like that, but it's like I already had them, so I might as well have just worn them out before I swapped. Guys will tell you not to park in truck stops. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you not to do that, but
I'll tell you that. I don't like to park in truck stops.
Yeah, truck stops, it's like, they're for any traveler. Anybody who tells you they're just for semis, those are just basically people that are full of themselves.
Yeah.
But you can park here, but the problem is you definitely have a chance of getting hit at some point.
Yes.
As I've found, I ran a year before, I've run 9 months this year, so it took me, that long to get hit by my first semi. And it wasn't the end of the world. YouTube kind of helps compensate for that, but if you don't have the extra income or savings or whatnot, it could throw you out of business pretty quickly. And
I think that's something good to keep in mind. You guys know I'm running non-CDL, so I could fit in some different places than maybe your 3-car, but I personally try not to park at the truck stops or even the rest areas with the long truck parking, because if you're on an end or if you're just set back in that spot, you're a smaller rig than these semis, and they just might not be looking for you, and when they pull out, you got a good chance.
Even if the guy tells you he's been driving for 30 years, he hit me. So
we all make mistakes, but personally, if you can avoid it, I would try to find different parking other than the truck stops, or at least just keep that in mind that it is a risk and you might not want to be in that end spot. So
the other thing, where it comes to parking at the truck stops, I would say yes, it's a risk to park at the truck stops, but go park at any Walmart or any parking lot, and any of these businesses can, halfway through your shift or halfway through your off duty, they can tow you out of there. And there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like,
that would be
the
bigger problem, really.
Are the only safe place to park. You're not going to get towed, but you can get hit. Whereas in a big parking lot, you can get towed, but you probably won't get hit. So it's like, you got to really research some of the places you're going to park at as well.
That's true.
So,
and we don't want to be bringing a bad name to the industry, parking in places we shouldn't. So give that some thought. But I mean, you could see we've been standing here for a while.
This one's bad.
You could see what a mess. This is kind of a smaller Loves here in Carlisle, and we've seen some crazy incidences already just in the half hour or so we've been here. So
I've had a few business meetings here, so I know how it gets at night. Surprisingly, there is spots open at night.
Oh, really?
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. This is kind of a small one.
Because 76 is right there at the turnpike,
yep.
And then you have 81 right here.
Yeah,
and
you
they
can
just
see.
Cross.
We're at a big junction here in PA. So
76 and 81.
That's it. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks for sharing. I know this is going to help some people. I hope it gives them like a good real life image before they just jump into something like this.
Realize everything is expensive right now, so maybe don't try it yet.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
a
give
good
it some
point.
time unless you're dead set.
I would agree with that one. Is it a great time to jump into Hotshot? I don't know. You know, who knows if things will get better or worse, but what I can tell you is insurance rates are high right now, fuel is high right now, and it seems like there's a lot of new people.
Show them the PA price right there.
Oh yeah, good point. I drove all the way to the East Coast thinking I'd get cheap fuel, and we got freaking California prices here. Look at the
What's that say?
416
No, that's an 18.
for
That's
is
an 8.
oh 418 for diesel. Had the tree in the way there. My goodness. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure just in general life you guys realize everything's expensive right now.
Turnpike's even higher. 465, 445.
Don't buy fuel on the turnpike. Don't
Yeah.
don't do that.
Don't do what I do.
Don't buy fuel in PA if you can avoid it, I guess.
Yeah, unless you have
It's
IFTA.
like California.
Unless you have IFTA.
That's true. That's true. If you're running CDL and you're keeping IFTA records, that changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
But one more thing, kind of lastly, I wanted to ask, because I know I have my own thoughts on this. You guys know I ran the Gooseneck PJ for a while and then stepped into power only, kind of the opposite of what Steve's done here. So, you know, just briefly, maybe the one or two things that really stand out: power only versus running, in your case, a car hauler. What are
So-
your thoughts on that?
So the trailer, you can absolutely make more money, but I'm making the same money, if not less, than when I ran power only because I'm home more. I get to be home every week.
Okay, that's a good point.
So with you, you'll make more money than me, but you're also running harder. Whereas like I try to be home 2 to 3 days a week. So it's just one of those trade-offs.
awesome.
It's like freight guys, they'll be out here making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a week sometimes. You know, it's all great, but they're working a lot.
That's if
more.
they're running super hard,
Yeah.
and you know, whether they have a family or not, probably not getting a lot of home time. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad you brought that one up, and probably something for you guys to keep in mind. You got to balance how much money you want to make versus, especially if you have a family, how much
YouTube's a
home
big
time.
compensation. It definitely helps with being home more.
Awesome.
So I'm shooting to be home every day. That's my end goal. I want to be home every day, but that's not where the goal stops. So it's like we'll get there.
Yeah,
I definitely
absolutely.
feel it's doable. We'll make more money, and
Keep moving forward. So.
basically, yeah.
Well, praise God. I'm super happy for Steve. I'm so glad that the YouTube thing's working out for him. So go support him on the channel, like I said, in that way. He's providing for his family. He's putting up great content, and he's just, you're an open book. I mean, you're always willing to
Yeah.
share ups and downs, and I think
A
that's
lot
really
of downs,
awesome.
but as long as you take them downs positively,
That's right.
there's lessons to be